This is Wojak from the Expert Crypto Discord. I am making this video to share some interesting things that I've found, some things that I've learned. I am pretty much new to technical analysis. I'm a novice or a noob, and I got interested in using the trading bots because you're not able to watch the all the cryptos all the time, all the ones that you want to trade. But I wanted to participate and I wanted to profit, and I wanted to learn some stuff. So I got involved with 3commas because of the Coin Bureau videos where he talked about trading bots. And 3commas is the one that I selected, and I got into using indicators on TradingView. And this one is called TE Tango Echo Michael Tango Frank MTF PS Triple Confirmation Potato. And what I did is I set the indicator to alert 3commas using the alert system. And when I first looked at this indicator, I thought this looks great. I did a replay, it looked good, and I was thinking I'm all for it. So I'm going to try doing it on a paper trading bot to see if it really works. So I'm just going to do a replay so you can see what I saw when I did this. So you can see right here. Oh, wait, let me pause it, let the indicators populate. There we go. Okay, so see, you notice it flashed a buy signal or a sell signal right there, and then it went away, and then it came back here. They do repaint, but it's all within the same candle. Usually, it'll flicker a signal, and then it might change the signal, but then it'll come up with the final one at candle close. So when I was looking at this, I was thinking it looks pretty good. It looks like it's catching all the right buy points. See there, it flickered again, but it kept going up, and so that turned out to be good. And look at that. That looks fantastic, right? Great profit right there. Okay, so when I was counting these, I thought this is a great indicator. I'm going to try running this on a bot, and let's do this on a 1 hour time frame. Let's wait for it to populate. No, I got to start over. I got to start it over because it's running outside of the frame. So we'll start it around here and wait for them to populate again. Okay, there we go. So you notice it's actually, this is a bad one right here. You bought high and you sold lower. And there's one right here, you can't see it, but it's there. Or it might be hard to see, but it's there. Turned out to be a really good one. And then you sold at the candle close here. So that's pretty good, Overall, I tested it, I thought, okay, this looks very good. And by the way, in the settings, this is on triple confirmation. The original potato is on double confirmation, okay? Just a note that username lagoutloud helped me set this up. Made it a very quick process. Lagoutloud in the Discord, so thank you to him for helping me out with that. So after hooking this in with 3commas, and actually I'll run through that with you right now, just so you can see how it's done. You right click on the buy signal. Oh, can't do it in a replay. So I'm on the 1 hour. Right click on the buy signal. Do once per bar close, and actually once per bar close was not working out for me, so I'm going to do once per minute. This is only paper trading, so it's not going to matter. And then, excuse me, actually I have to fix this because I just set up the same signal twice. Right there, yeah. So let's remove that. So I just set it, yeah, okay. Let's go back to the original signal, the buy and the sell. So you right click on the buy, it brings you to this menu. Click on, I'm going to try once per minute. Before I did once per bar close, and that's not successful. I will let you know why later. And then you paste in the message from 3commas and use this webhook to paste that into 3commas. So here is the actual bot that I have running right here. So I'm going to click on view for now to just show you the simple, the plugging in of it and how where the webhooks come into play. Or not the webhooks, the messages. So the message for deal start signal, I copy this and I paste this into here. Okay. And then for the manual, for the signal that is in the programming of this bot, oops, I go into edit, or you can create, and right here is where it's TradingView custom signal, and you go into the instructions and you go right here where it says, this is basically in the instructions. You should read the entire thing, but this is how I did it. Copy this and then paste this into here where it says webhook URL. So currently I'm doing once per minute because I want to actually try taking those early signals, whether they be false or good or not. And then you do the same thing for sell, except to make sure that you have the sell signal selected. So that's a detail you don't want to overlook here when you're setting this up. For the buy, you put the buy signal, and down here I named it just so that I don't forget it. I don't get it confused. Okay, so that's the interaction between this bot and 3commas. And there's some important considerations to factor in here when you're programming the bot itself. And this varies coin to coin because the volatility can change. In this case, depending on the time frame that you're looking at, the coin can travel in the crypto can travel, or the asset, whatever you want to call it, can travel within a channel, a certain volatility channel. So in this case, on the 1 hour, it's sort of on, say, what is this, a 2-day time frame? Let me get this out of the way. So on the 4-day time frame, it can go up or down by 28.6%. So let's just call it 28. 28% is the channel, generally speaking. And just to double check, yep, about 29% in 5 days, or 6. So that's something that you want to consider when you're programming these bots. And if you're working on a shorter time frame, where it's going to be like here, you can also bang around in this channel where it's going up and down by 13, 14%. Okay, and it'll be on a shorter time frame. So perhaps you might prefer that. It's sort of, are we in a bear market or are we in a bull market? Since we're in a bear market, apparently, by looking at the overall, like if we go overall on the 4-day time frame and you look at this whole big trend, kind of looks like we're in a bear market. Okay, so let's just say we're in a bear market, for example. So you may want to work on shorter time frames, because if you're working on a longer time frame and you're expecting that big gain, if the market decides it's going to tank for good, well, you just locked yourself in a trade that you might have to take a loss on. So let's work on tighter time frames, okay, so that we can give ourselves more of an out. Smaller profit, a little more frequent trades, but we're not locked in for as long. So in this case, we'll just call it that. We'll ignore that little thing right there, that little dip below it. So it's looking like a 8% up or down channel. Okay, 12%, maybe, if it's going up to 12%. Yeah, I mean, certainly if you bought down here and then you sold out there, that's great. $13, 14%, etc. Now, how does this translate into programming a bot for 3commas? Please do it on paper trading to test it, to see if it's actually going to work out for you, by the way. No matter what the bot you're using is, or maybe only, or test it doing manual trades any way you want. So in order to do this particular strategy, I have to do a specific pair, because this indicator is on a pair-by-pair basis. I have not yet found one that I can do on composite. So in the case of Ethereum, we discussed, or I just mentioned, that the possible up and down of it was like 12 to 14%. So here, I program the bot to work within that channel. So we're doing I'm doing a base order size of 100 and a safety order size of 200. And if you want to learn more about the details of all of this stuff, I recommend watching Trade Alts. That's a YouTube channel, and also Trading Parrot. It's also a YouTube channel. And then there's also 3commas, which is by, let's see, it's here it is, 3commas Smart Trade. He does a great illustration of smart trade, and this will give you some ideas as well. It will educate you to some extent on the bots, even though this is about smart trades. So base order is, you can preview it on the table where the base order is this. It's just going to start the trade based on the signal. And the safety order is this. So here's your 200. And here's your 100. I'm going off the BUSD pair. And so what it's going to do is when it deviates down by an amount that I specify, it will activate the safety trade. And in this case, I'm working with a method that involves more trades at smaller deviations, or more deals, or more safety orders at a smaller deviation. Now there is a danger to this, to when you actually get it on the exchange, of the exchange not executing your orders. I've had that issue, but we'll have to get into that later. Because, well, I'll just give you because if the price is going down quickly, and you do a limit buy, if you do limit or whatever buy at a 1.5% deviation, but by the time it actually starts that deviation, the price is already tanked by 5 or 6%. Well, then you're buying at a higher price, and that's not good. So it's something to consider. But I'm doing, and if the Binance is not responsive enough, in this case, if it were Binance, then you're going to find yourself buying at a higher price. So since this deviation is about 8%, I'm going to do a safety order trigger of 2% instead of 1. Let's see, where was that sitting? Okay. If the price deviation to open safety order from initial order. So let's do 2% instead. And you saw this number go up right here. You can change it. See if you change this, it'll go up and down. So let's say 2%. And since we're going in shorter time frame where it's just 8% deviations, we can narrow this max deviation down to an 8% type of deviation. So we could do fewer safety trades. So let's try 5. And I like to keep this the same, 5 and 5. So, okay, let's give it a little more room and do 6. Now, it's possible though, when you're programming this, for instance, we can't expect this to always travel at a plus minus of 10% or 8%. It could go as low as this. We should foresee this type of situation where it goes down by 14%. Or let's say we get stuck in something really bad and it goes down by 21%. So we'll give an allowance for that much. And I'm going to pause the video to verify this recording. I had a problem with this recording the wrong screen. Okay, looks like it is recording properly. All right. So, the safety order is important because if this enters a trade at a bad price, or it enters at a price that's not going to be good until later, like let's say you buy here, because this is on candle close, at least my first trial of this was on candle close, and it immediately starts tanking. Well then, you're sitting there at a loss of, 5% or what have you. So what it's going to do is at every 2% deviation down, it's going to open up a safety order. And that safety order is going to be an amount that I specify. And that amount can be manipulated or basically changed with nuances here. Okay, so here's the table. If I just did, on the safety order volume scale, if I just did 1, then it would just open the same safety order of 100 each time, or excuse me, 200 each time. 200, 200, 200, 200, which, depending on your preference, that may be fine. But in order to get a bigger overall profit, or hopefully get a bigger overall profit, I'm doing that. So that it will get bigger and bigger as it goes down, and your overall average price is also lower the more you buy. So if it actually activates all what is that, 10? All 10 deviations, my overall average price is $18.84 as opposed to the entry price, which is $22.17. So that's makes it easier to profit. And if you decide to do a smaller take profit, when you're doing a safety order volume scale that's basically getting bigger and bigger the more safety orders it does it, depending on whether you do percentage from base order or percentage of total volume, this total of volume will make it easier to exit the trade. So once the overall average profit is 3%, then it will sell. However, that's some more kind of get in and get out strategy, or it might get you out of trades quicker. If you do percentage from base order, then it's going to be a sale at a profit of basically, it's going to wait, say you bought here, and it is going to wait until you have a profit of 3%, say up here on the first order. However, you have opened up double, or whatever you specify, safety order going down to here. So it's you have one safety order, two safety orders that are much larger than the original order, and so it's going to sell everything. It's going to sell everything, and you're going to make a bigger profit. You're going to make a 2.89% profit off of the base order. You're going to make a, hypothetically, it's just hypothetical, a 5 or 6% profit off of the larger safety order that's executed, and then you're going to make an even larger profit off of the third safety order, which is going to be at a larger amount and a larger profit. That's if everything goes as goes as hoped. but it's good to keep in mind that you kind of want a get in and get out strategy in case this kind of scenario happens, where you bought your first order up here, and then the next order triggered here, and the next order triggered here, and the next order triggered here, here, and you've got, so let's say 10 at 2% deviation each. Well, your overall average cost is going to be much less. So you'll have lost a lot less if it never sells. So you'll have to babysit a little bit if you're going to do off of base order profit, basically. Because in this case, you're never going to see that 2% profit off of the base order, right? However, if you played the cards right here, you bought here, you told it your target profit is whatever, 5%, 8%, what have you. Sort of depends on the market, depends on the situation, depends on your preference. You may say, okay, I'm going to do target profit of 5% or 7% or whatever, and then it will sell at a profit. But what also benefits you from doing this is that you can have a trailing deviation. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to do a target profit of 5% with a trailing deviation of 2%. It's a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit slower perhaps, a little riskier. I might have to babysit it more just in case of a crash. But what this will do is once it hits a 5% target profit, it's going to follow the profits up. It's triggered this to watch it. So basically it's going to follow the profits up. So if this goes up to 10, if your profit actually goes up to 10% off of the base order, it's going to follow it up, but then when it doubles back by 2%, that's what this trailing deviation is. When it falls from 10 to 8, it will trigger the sell of all of the base order and the safety orders, so that the entire deal. See, the entire deal is basically the base order plus all the safety orders. So that's how that works. Stop loss, you know, a lot of people say not to use it. I don't use it, and maybe it's come at some cost to me, but that's fine. But rest assured, you know what, this safety order thing basically sort of safeguards you from that big drop if it goes down 20%, because your overall average cost is $400 less than your entry cost. And that's pretty big. You know, that's pretty big. That's a great thing. If you want to make it easier for the bot to sell, you could do percentage from total volume, because that's the volume of the entire thing. Base order will ignore the volume of the deal. So basically, the base order profits by 5%. Percentage of total volume, it's the base order plus all the safety orders. Once that hits a target profit of 5%, it sells. Now, this may not be as ideal as you think. Like, perhaps it's not really going to keep following it up to 10%. Because if you've ever spent any time watching these candles and watching these wicks, they're pretty volatile. And so you might see something like some big candle happen, right? But on the more minute time frames, things may happen which cause it to not benefit you as much. But, you know, we pay to play, and that's a risk we have to take. Yeah, it would be nice to get the entire thing. Trying to find a good example of a gigantic candle, but like within this time frame. Okay, it'd be nice to get the entire. Well, if this went up 10%, you're going to have these retraces, which might trigger your trailing deviation, and then it just might sell out, even though it might have gone all the way up to 10%. So this is how this bot can mitigate the risk of using an indicator. The indicator has a risk. It's not going to be right all the time, and it's going to just enter you in some bad trades sometimes. Okay, for instance, let me let this populate. Give it a second. So here is a ripe example. This happens quite a bit. This buy trigger right here is at candle close. So it bought up here, and the sell signal here is at candle close. So it sold down here. Actually, that gave me an idea. What we could do is we could do it so that it's at candle open, or basically right when it happens, right? Once per bar, every time the condition is met, but not more than one time per bar. So that's the sell signal. So you could have it so that it triggers a sell right when the sell condition comes. However, as you saw by the replay, they repaint sometimes on the same bar. It changes its mind because something happens to, and I believe in the demonstration that it had repainted, when I replayed it, it had repainted at a point where it was actually not a good time to sell, and then it went up more. Probably happened somewhere in here. And then it went up more and you would have lost out on that. So instead of using the sell signals to close all my deals at market, which is the only option I see here, I'm going to do it a different way, but I'll show you safety order step scale 1. Just going to try to finish this up. This is probably fine for now. Strategy might not matter so much because we're doing a custom signal. So let's save this. Okay, so when you view your message deals, message deal for start signal this is what I pasted in. That's going to start the process, the bot, in this whole process of setting up base orders and safety orders. Now, the close signal, I left it blank, and it's right here. Hopefully it maintained that setting. I believe I left it blank. So here's the sell signal. Yeah, there it is. The message, I emptied it out because I don't want it to be selling the entire deal at a bad candle close, like down here. Because if I did that, then basically I bought here and then I sold here because it's at candle close. And there's the candle close for the sell. And you made nothing. It was just a waste of an order. So instead of doing that, I'm going to ignore that. And that is where this comes into play, where basically target profit is 5% of the total bought volume. Okay, so I'm not going to have a sell signal that's based on that indicator. Now you may discover another indicator that you like, which has alerts, and you can program it accordingly, and maybe it does a better job of selling at the right point. But this, as far as I've seen and as far as I've back tested with paper trading, this has not been working. So, in terms of selling at the right point. So it's going to, here in this case, let's see what this is. Oh, it's a 3% profit. So yeah, this is actually not the greatest example. Yeah, look at that. It fell down. Basically, it went up and then it went down. So this is a case where the safety orders would get triggered on the way down here, and it might have been a good idea to have percentage of total volume as your target so that you could exit this easier. And in fact, because I just saw this break in trend, I am going to make my target profit 3%. I'm going to be more conservative because I don't want to get stuck like here for days and days in one trade. Now, if you're able to find a strategy indicator that is able to work with composite bots, you'll be able to be trading more pairs. so you'll be making more profit, but depending on how much money you have available, max amount for bot usage, you're going to have to budget your specifics here based on the number of pairs you're trading and the number of safety orders and so forth. So let's do this. Target profit 3%, trailing deviation 1.5. Sure, why not? We're only paper trading, so it doesn't matter. We could test out these strategies. So let's see if there's anything I missed. That's basically the tutorial. I might make another video later on. And by the way, the expert crypto Discord is what inspired me to get into all this. I learned a lot talking to people in there, and I probably would not have figured this out for a long time unless I had talked to the people in there. And they've made a lot of literature available. They've recommended books to read and so forth. A lot of very great people sharing really good information in there. I'm very grateful for the people in there that have helped me with this sort of stuff and with indicators and strategies and so forth. So I'm not crying. It's just the onions. Okay, so I want to just take a look at this real quick. In the case, here's a case where this strategy is very successful, this particular indicator, because it had an entry point of candle close here, and then it had an exit point of here. And that's 24.8% profit in 1 day and 8 hours. And that's in a bear market. Okay, and there's other times that this kicked in as well over here, So this is just fantastic. Really good. Really good strategy indicator and deal start signal. This 3comma bot allows you to have this being done without you having to sit there and stare at the coin all day. You can go work your full-time job, at what have you. It's just a great, useful tool. Now, I'm sorry to say that that you have to subscribe to TradingView in order to get access. Pretty sure. And I basically recommend trying the free trial, and that they're going to offer you a discounted price. I basically got the one that was not the top tier, but the next lowest cost plan. And then with 3commas, they give you one free composite bot for the plans. So you can actually do one free composite bot, and you could try to make money. One multi-single pair bot for spot, or one for futures. Where you have to pay though to do the paper trading testing. That's a problem. But you can always do it to there might be another platform that you can do this to test your strategy. And this allows also unlimited smart trades, unlimited active smart trades, which is really good. I recommend watching this guy's videos to learn about that. He did really good videos on these. I mean, they look really good. Hopefully they actually profit that great. By the way, this indicator is being used not on leverage. This is only on spot. And then also on 3commas, by the way, here is just oh, I forgot to mention, remember, candle close and candle open is important. So the candle close strategy was failing for me because it was basically entering too late. Like case in point right here, entering late and then selling too late. So I went with a buy signal that's once per minute. So it's actually going to go ahead and trigger basically the first time the buy signal comes up. So it may be wrong, it may be right, who knows, who cares. I'm trying paper trading and I see how it goes. So here is the history of my test with just this Ethereum pair where I was doing a buy and sell signal, buy on candle close, sell on candle close, and ignore anything that's not Ethereum here. So Ethereum, you sold at a loss of 2.4%. It was a loss. Another loss, a gain. So that's 2 losses, 1 gain. A big loss. So that's 3 losses, 1 gain. Kind of a nice profit there, but it didn't outweigh the loss here. So basically lost more than I gained. So that's why paper trading with this is so important, because you want to test the bot to see if it's actually working. And plus, I would not have learned all this stuff about bar opens and bar closes with this strategy if I had done this to my real money. It's because I did this on paper trading that I was able to see this without paying and losing money over it. Not a big amount in this case, but lost some money nevertheless on the paper trade account. So yeah, there are other indicators. There are probably thousands of indicators, by the way. If you have a great indicator you think I should try, or you think it's going to be more successful than this, or you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. I will not message you directly, asking you for money or telling you to join any sort of group that asks for money. So do not do it. I want you guys to be able to learn this stuff for free and apply it for free and then profit based off of your own hard work, or based off of your own work. And there's all these YouTube videos that are free to watch. You don't need to pay any of these scamming Telegram groups big amounts of money to profit.